without further ado, we're going to come on to the community show and tell. So we've got Susan up first, and stop sharing. I can't see where you are, Susan, but whenever you're ready,
Okay.
jump in and we'll go from there. I'm going to set the timer for 7 minutes.
Okay.
But away you go.
Okay. Thanks. Hi, everyone. This is my first time, so please go easy on me. So yeah, I've come along today just to chat through a couple of features on our new local Gov Drupal website. So bin calendar and our consultations. So hopefully everyone can see the presentation. Is that working all right, Erin?
Yeah, looks good to
Yep.
me.
Okay, so just a wee quick intro. We have just finished our digital experience project phase 1. It's a very formal title, but it's been over 2 years in the making, and essentially it's our move from the GOS ICM CMS to local Gov Drupal. And we completed that on the 31st of May. So we are now fully migrated onto the local Gov Drupal platform, and that also includes 7 microsites and 4 subsites. That I think of the 4 subsites, I think all of those were external sites that we brought back into the corporate fold as well. So and a shout out to Steph Wilson, who's been helping us on that. It's been fantastic. So essentially, the bin calendar and the problems that we are trying to fix. So previously on our old site, we had a very manual way of people checking when their bin days were. And I'm sure everyone in councils who are on the call will know that this is probably the most asked question, if not the most asked question. It's certainly ours. And the old way was very resource hungry. That's a copy of what the PDF would have looked like on the old site. So our graphics team, they were manually creating hundreds of calendars, there's hundreds of routes, and these were updated annually. So there was resource from the waste team into graphics, and then also for our sort of internal devs. And obviously problems with that were that, there was a lot of high risk of user input error. And really it was completely inflexible. So when we've had strike days, I think one of the major problems we had was that we put some comms out to say, your bin isn't getting picked up on this day. However, we forgot about people actually going in and checking these PDFs and then thinking, well, it says it's getting picked up. So there was a lot of backlash on that. And really, our waste team were about to consider moving across to an app that was recommended by their supplier for their system. So we wanted to avoid that at all costs, really. So we worked with our developers and the team that we were working with at that time. And what we've ended up with is a really lovely, I'm really proud of this. Not that I really designed any of it at all, but I think it's great. A really clean, focused design, simple to use, works well on mobile. And the way that this works, you're simply putting in a postcode, selecting your address, and this will appear, this page. And everything about this is driven by our waste backend system. So we do a little bit of cleaning on the addresses. I'm not going to bore anyone too much about that. It's something to do with where we get the addresses from our gazetteer. But we now have the ability to make real-time changes, and that reflects onto the calendar. And it's really flexible because we've just added on a new service. We previously didn't offer a garden waste service, and we've just brought that online at the beginning of the year. And really working with the guys, it was so simple. We really only had to add a little bit to the design. When I say it's really simple, I'm sure in the back end there's a lot going on, but for us it was such a straightforward process. And we've also got the option there to print or add it to the iCalendar. And I was really chuffed at Christmas time. I was in an Airbnb locally, and I seen one of these calendars printed out in real out in the wild onto the fridge. So I was like, I was excited about that. It's actually being used. So um, yeah. So that's the bin calendar. And one problem that we have, which I don't know how unique we are in this, but we get really late notifications of changes to bin collection days around Christmas and New Year. So our waste team aren't able to tell the public until probably the beginning of December if their bin collections day actually take place on Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, or the 2nd of January, um, when their alternative day will be. So we had to sort of develop around that problem because obviously if someone's printing out the calendar in advance, we wanted to try and make that really clear. So this calendar will pull out and highlight in red all relevant Dumfries and Galloway bank holidays that might affect a bin collection day. I can't show you it because if I was better prepared, I probably could, but it will highlight it in red, and then anyone printing that off will be made aware that that date may change. And then when we know the date, in conjunction with comms, we'll issue out the alternative dates are. And once we make the change in the back end system, that will remove the red, and anyone would be able to see their real day at Christmas and New Year for the alternative collection. So that was the best that we could do, and it seemed to work. It worked fine Christmas and New Year there, and whereas previously we've had a lot of to-ing and fro-ing with the public on that, so that was a great big tick from us. And it's really important to us because now the bin calendar tool accounts for 10 to 12% at any time of all views on our website. It by far trumps everything else that we do on our site at this moment. So everyone is using it, and yeah, it's just been a really good tool to get up and get live and get working. So and just moving quickly on to consultations. We've just recently done this piece of work a couple of months back. This is what we had on the GOST system. We had really uninspiring page design, really manual intervention that required us to go in and move it from open to closed. The services that weren't really engaged in sending in the content, I think because they knew that the pages weren't great either. And we had the community engagement team really keen to explore going out and buying a dedicated consultation website such as Commonplace. We wanted to try and keep all of this content within the main structure of the corporate site. So again, working with the dev team and interaction designers, content designers, we've ended up with a really clean, focused design that works really well on mobile. We've got the color-coded statuses when you're in the page to say whether it's open or closed. And with this functionality, it automatically moves from the open status into the closed status when the closing date and time passes. So that's been a big tick from us as well. It's been really well received. And really big thanks to everyone that we've been working with on this, from our web developers at Rohallion, Friendly Digital, ClearSpot Media, and the content designers and our internal team here. We've all really worked together to sort of pull these new features out. So I'm really pleased with it. It's getting really good feedback. So yeah, that's me.